What's up, guys? So today I want to talk about my education at Full Sail. So as you can see behind me, oops, shoot, right there, all over that. Oh, that's my education right there. I started in 2015, and before that, I was trying to go to school for auto mechanics, and unfortunately, that didn't work out. They had what was called a waiting list, and it apparently had a 4-year waiting list where you had to wait until you get into the program because apparently there was too many people. But okay, so that's just a different topic. It was just like whatever. But so yeah, I went to Full Sail. I got my bachelor's degree. I got a wave certificate and I got a avid certificate. So when you start off at Full Sail University, they have you start going into kind of like self-development classes. There's a couple of those where you're self-developing. There's a couple of writing classes. There's a math class, a science class, a history class. And then there's of course your main courses where you learn audio. I did audio production. So you have your core classes, and when I went to Full Sail, I looked up many different kinds of schools. I looked into LA, and then I looked into NYU. There was one in Arizona. There was one in Atlanta, and then there was one also over my local area. And when I looked at all of them, I felt like Full Sail had the package deal for me. They just shoved a bunch of stuff in there for you, and they gave you all the equipment that you needed. It was like $20,000 worth of equipment, and they promised in their lineup that they would teach you all this stuff. And I was like, oh my God, this sounds like one hell of a deal. I'm going to go and do this. When that day came, I got so much stuff on my front door. I was living at a house when all that stuff came. 15 boxes at my front door. And it was great. And in the program, it started off really nice. You kind of get a basic rundown of it and how the site works, how to communicate to your teachers. I did the online version, unfortunately. I should have went to the school. I feel like if I went to the school, I would have ingested a lot more. But back then is back then, and so you can't really do much about that. And so it seemed like a really nice portal to get into, navigating through the campus portal and all your assignments. It was nice, easy, and had a good flow to it. And for the most part, submitting was really easy, and the deadlines were pretty easy as well. Some of the things that they go into depth about when you're trying to turn in your assignments is music theory, and then they went into depth with your acoustic environment. Some of the equipment they went into detail with. They went into gaming, and they also did a little bit of business. So when they did music theory, they give you like 4 applications where they train your ears. They train your ears to hear out the different elements of a mix, right? Like you try to focus on one instrument, you try to focus on one sound, you tune everything else out. You train your brain to do that. And then they had another class where they have you put your earmuffs on, and they help you develop a sense of space within headphones and in an acoustic space as well. So that was a really cool class. I enjoyed that class a lot. And then some of the music theory classes were really tough. I'll tell you that right now. They just have a specific score that they're looking for, and if you don't reach it, you won't pass. And then when they started teaching me about the equipment, I'm kind of balancing the beam with the equipment. There are some things that I took in with ease, and there are some things that I was just like, are you kidding me? This does not seem right. There's a couple of tools they never went into depth about. This thing right here. They sent this thing. I don't know what it does. They sent this with me, and I'm just like, they never taught us what this thing does. It's supposed to be a stereo protractor. I have no idea what this does. And then they sent us this thing. This guy, I mean, apparently this guy is the master when it comes to doing audio production and audio work. Nothing against him, but they didn't even teach me anything about this guy. Like, they mentioned him a couple of times. I can't get it to focus. And then here's the back side. I'm sorry guys, it's not letting me focus, but there's this, like, didn't see this? There's like a little chip. There's like a little chip in it, and I cannot, for the love of God, figure out what exactly this thing does. Those are the only two things that they did not go into depth about. And I was like, oh, okay. And I mean, yeah, some of the classes that they had when it came to the equipment, it was rough. They were doing things with their hands, like they were explaining things in such an advanced way that I could not figure it out. I had one teacher that I had a real hard time with understanding him, and he was just so grimy. He was not out to help you out at all, at least for me. I mean, he just was not supportive at all or flexible. I had to like look up some of the stuff that he was trying to say on the internet, and even the internet at the time was terrible, and there was not much material out there to figure out what exactly happens inside some of this equipment that is shipped off to you. And luckily now you can get an answer just like that. I swear it's so much faster to find an answer to how a piece of equipment works in the audio industry. For the most part, the equipment that was set was pretty like it was substandard. It wasn't like industry professional stuff. Like here, these studio monitors, I got some Atom Audios right here. Oh my God, these things are just wow. And then they never sent off any NS10s or some deal, which apparently is the industry standard. They gave us some PreSonus speakers, and I was just like, there's something wrong with this. And oh man, I mean, there were some classes that they had where they explained a lot of things very well. There were some things that you could understand pretty easily and pick up really easily and quickly. And there were some things where it's just like, what are you saying to me right now? I have no idea what you're saying. They had a really nice class where it went into depth about the key commands, like in Pro Tools. Pro Tools was their #1 software in the program. I don't know why it was, because I look on videos on YouTube. I rarely find anyone using Pro Tools. Almost every video I look up, they're either using Ableton, Fruity Loops, Logic Pro, Cubase, or Studio One. Those are the ones that I see are used most prominently on YouTube. And then when someone hears Pro Tools, it's like, no, this thing is dumb. And when I did Pro Tools, it was so frustrating. Oh my gosh. It would just cut in and out every single time I would get in. And when I had a big project, I would have to call my professors, and some of the professors were unforgiving as hell. They would just be like, no, you're just playing me. This is the time limit I gave you, and you got to deal with it, and I'm the teacher, and you got to listen to me. And it was ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Like, there was some times where I wanted to literally drive to their studio or to wherever they were and tell them, this is what I'm dealing with right now. You need to literally open your eyes here, bud. It was ridiculous. I mean, I hate to put them down because they are really smart. They do know their stuff. It's just, I wish they weren't so tuned into themselves and actually understand that this is what's going down. But I can't do much. And then there was a gaming portion where they went into a great detail amount, and a film and media portion like ADR and Foley. They did a really nice job of it. Gaming was a little rusty. I feel like they taught me a program that was like used only when they really need to use it. Like, it was that old rusty box in the back room that if everything else failed, we can go use that rusty old box back there and we'll use that to support our picture kind of thing. I guarantee you they use things like Unity or like Cinema 4D. Oh my gosh, I feel like this thing is ancient when they taught me this. And so the also unfortunate part about the gaming classes I had, the teachers were really grimy as well. He was a little unforgiving, and it felt really uncomfortable. I had some trouble with the programs in the class, and he was not really forgiving. And then after that, there was a fair amount of detail when it came to business. Actually, I don't even think they went into any detail when it came to business. Oh my gosh, the business portion of it was terrible. Oh my gosh. I think they have a business degree. I have no idea what that's like. I'd love to know what that's like, but here, I'll even show you. This is what was in my business class. This is literally all that's in the class that's offered through Fullsail. It was just like, are you serious? This is all you get? And oh geez, it was such a disappointment. I have a lot of business books that I had to read for the past couple of years, tried to see like what else is really out there that I have to do in order to get my songs out there. There are some great books out there, I'll tell you right now. Look up anything with music business, and there are some really great authors out there, like Mike Senior, Donald Passman. I think has a really good book out there. Great amount of information out in those books. And so, yeah, I looked at this and I was like, are you serious? This is not gonna do me any good when it comes to business. So I mean, overall, I feel like Fullsail is a really good place to get your education if you want to get into the audio industry. I've had a couple of interviews out here in Iowa. I live in Iowa, and Iowa is not really the place to do audio work, but I still get out there, and I've had a couple of interviews with like AV installations, studio work. I've had an interview at a radio station and at a news station, and I've done some DJing around here. I've talked to some guys personally and done some gigs there. It just kind of depends on where you want to go and how you want to market yourself. That's another thing I wish Fullsail would have done, was they did not teach squat about marketing. You need marketing. Like you can't do anything without marketing if you want to be a musician or an artist or a producer or wherever. You need marketing skills like SEO. You need some SEO stuff. Yeah, they did not offer that in my I wonder if they do now, but they did not in there. Overall, yeah, they did a pretty nice job with going over the equipment, developing yourself in music theory. The gaming is I don't know about the gaming. I really don't know. I would give Fullsail 4 stars if there was a scale. I would give them 4 stars because there was a lot of awesome things that were offered in Fullsail, and there was just like a couple of things here that was just like, dude, are you serious? Like, what? So if you ever wanted to attend Fullsail, I would highly recommend it. I would highly go there. It really unlocks potential for you. I feel like they improved more on their curriculum for the most part. Oh, and plus their library is awesome. I remember when they said that I wouldn't have access to the library, and I argued so much with the advisory teams about I want access to the library. I'm giving you a lot of funds here, and you're telling me I can't have access to the library. Like, I want to be able to get into the library. And thankfully, thank you Fullsail for understanding that. And they offer really good websites to get some information in the industry, like SEO and marketing. You can learn from their websites. They offer O'Reilly and LinkedIn. there's some really good stuff in there. If you look up marketing and SEO, you're good there. I just wish they could work on their teaching maybe. Some of their teachers are really questionable. I feel like I could teach better. I grew up in a house of teachers. My mom and dad went to the schools here in my local area, and the teaching is really in our blood. And so I know where I need to look for things, and I feel like I can find out what the bottom of the totem pole is and what the top is, and how to discern those. And there were some teachers where they were just like way too up here and didn't really care about what was down here. Fullsail, if you find this, I really hope or tell your teachers to turn the notch down when it comes to the knowledge in the music industry. And that's pretty much all we have for today, guys. If you want to get in contact with me, shoot me an email, subscribe, and stay safe out there, guys.